Hello and welcome back to the Hoof Football Podcast. Long-term listeners, it's been a while. Okay, I've been a busy guy. If you're new to the podcast, I am the usual host, but I've been a busy guy. But my name's Ben. Lovely to meet any new listeners. I'm joined today by Charlie and Lewis. How are we doing, guys? I feel like we haven't sat down and spoken in a long time. Charlie, how have you been?
Yeah, a long time. Uh, yeah, been all right. Kind of same as usual with any really international break. It's just a bit dull, especially when you come into near like the Premier League and Championship,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's always sort of brings you down a bit dull. But no, I've been all right. Not really been up to much, to be honest. I'm interested to see what you've been up to in the past 5 weeks. You've not been here.
Well, I want to disregard one of the things Lewis said in last week's episode. If anyone watched, in that I've been ducking away because Middlesbrough fallen off a cliff. I started a new job. Okay, so I've been busy with a new job, and also we haven't been that bad to be fair. We just can't finish. That's the main thing. Lewis, how are you, mate? How's things? I know obviously I live with you, but
No, I'm good. It's obviously probably worth mentioning that Igor Tudor has departed Spurs today, so it's going to be interesting. I think there's maybe seven Premier League games left to see what Spurs do to resolve this dire situation that they're in and whether they can save their season. So that was probably as a Chelsea fan a little bit kind of made my Sunday a little bit easier to see that they're further in crisis. But yeah, other than that, obviously the international break. Didn't watch England Uruguay because I was working on Friday. But yeah, no, I'm fine at the minute. What about yourself, Ben? You kind of said
oh
it.
yeah, yeah, good. Just ignoring the football, but to be fair, international break. We're back on Friday next week at home to Millwall, so
We'll
massive
taste one.
because if they win that, we're out of the top two for the first time in a long time. So, but today we're not talking about Friday. We're talking about Tuesday because on Tuesday it is the final kind of European leg of the World Cup playoffs. There is also actually some intercontinental playoffs going on as well. But we're mainly talking about the European one today because obviously there's four games, and we're going to preview all of those basically. So we'll get into it. We'll preview it. We'll give a prediction, and then obviously we'll have the quiz later on as per. So Lewis, I want to start with you. You've got two games to go through. Give us your first one, mate.
Well, it's kind of fitting that one of the games I've been given is a former Chelsea manager who is now at the helm in Sweden. So Sweden Poland is the first game I'm going to mention. Um, yeah, it's interesting, really. Sweden underwhelmed in their group, kind of qualifying, ended up finishing stone dead last in their group. Graham Potter then took charge. I think he's only managed two games at the end of that, and then he's obviously had a great win last. I think it was Friday or Thursday, but they won 3-0 against Ukraine. One of the key players for them, I'd say, Sweden, is Victor Gyökeres, especially with the absence of Alexander Isak at the moment. I think that he's got 18 goals in 31 caps, and obviously the hat trick against Ukraine was massive in terms of the morale and his form. He was very clinical in that. I think he's all three shots on target he scored. So he's someone in this game where I think it is going to be a battle of the strikers because then you look to Poland, they've got Robert Lewandowski, he's got 5 goals in 8 qualifying games. He then got a goal against, I think it was Albania. They were 2-0 down and ended up basically coming back and winning the game. They were 1-0 down and came back to win the game 2-1. Interesting for them is that they're currently unbeaten under their new manager, Jan Urban. And I think Poland are probably the better team coming into this game because they've currently gone 7 games without a defeat. 6 games, they've scored 13 goals, only conceded six, whereas Sweden obviously had that horrendous kind of run in the qualifying. One of the big stats is that Poland last won in Sweden 76 years ago. So there's not a lot of luck on their side, given that they've not won in Sweden Poland 76. And then they've also lost their last 3 visits to Solna, which is where they're playing in Sweden for this game on Tuesday. So it's going to be, it looks like it's against Poland, but I've gone as a prediction to go 2-1 for Poland in extra time. So yeah, that's what I've gone for. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be a tight game. But yeah, I think Poland nick it is what I've gone for because I just think Sweden have been out of form.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what the reasoning was behind that because you spent a lot of that time talking about why Poland don't want to do it, and then switched to saying Poland will. But to be fair, you did touch on at the end about Sweden's poor form. On a quick one, if I was choosing between Gyökeres and Lewandowski, I know who I'm choosing. So if it's battle of the
That's
strikers,
what I mean.
Poland have got it
Yeah,
here.
I just think I think that Sweden, to be fair, they've got Bergvall out, they've got Kulusevski, they've got Isak, they've got a lot of big names out. And although Potter's got a great win against Ukraine, Poland with them 7 games unbeaten is just what, for me, I think they've got longer under this new manager and they just seem to have more cohesion and better experienced in that team.
Okay, so you heard it here first from Lewis. Poland 2, Sweden 1. Charlie, hit us with your game, mate.
Okay, so Italy versus Bosnia. Now, this one, I feel like on paper, clearly Italy are going into that game as the favourites. And there's a big reason why, because if we talk about the World Cup qualification, the only team they've lost to is Norway. Like they've more or less had comfortable victories against any other team, apart from an Israel where they just won 5-4. But I mean, I didn't watch the game live against Northern Ireland, but from what I saw in terms of the stats, the highlights, it was just a very comfortable victory for them. And Bosnia is a team where I don't really think you can exactly count them out. I think against Wales, a game which I actually did watch, it was, I would have argued it was an equal game up until I would say the second half of extra time. I think the thing is with Italy compared to Bosnia, obviously they've got far more better quality and depth. And I think defensively, they're just a far more better side, especially when you look at the quality of players. They've got like Bastoni, Calafiori, and of course Donnarumma in goal. I think for Bosnia, they more or less really rely on the likes of Edin Dzeko to score for them in order to try and win the game. Obviously, he scored late on against Wales to equalise and send the game into extra time before it went to penalties where they won. I the one thing I'll say with Bosnia is as well. I think I think similar to Italy, they've only lost. No, they've lost one game in the World Cup qualification, which I believe was against Austria, and then have drawn two against Austria and then Cyprus. So they're kind of a team that you can't exactly rule out because again in their group in the World Cup qualification, they've done all right in all fairness. It's just that Italy have had so much more convincing wins, and as I said before, the quality of their team is just far better. I'm not saying that Bosnia don't stand a chance because again, I mean, Bosnia don't have any really bad players. I mean, you've got the likes of Demirovic, you've got Kolasinac, Emir Haptijametovic. Like, there's a few key players in there who can make an impact for Bosnia, but I feel like it's going to be more counter-attacking football since Italy are just going to be holding possession of the ball. If I had to make a prediction, I think Italy are going to obviously want to make sure they keep a clean sheet. I think the Italians will probably, similar to Northern Ireland, I think they'll just win 2-0, to be honest. I think Bosnia may get a couple of opportunities to maybe score. I can't really see them contest a lot with Italy when they'll have a lot of dominance on the ball.
Could you say that, right? Because I hear a lot of what you're saying. Like, naturally, the Italy squad's better than Bosnia. Like, I haven't looked at both, but just off the top of my head, I can name many more top level Italian players than I can Bosnians. And if you're shouting at Sead Kolasinac in the like there's a level there. There's a level there. But you would have said this about that game against North Macedonia, right? When
Yeah,
they
that's true. That is true in all
Euros, was
fairness.
it? Before
I think twice. I think
It-
twice the last two
yeah,
playoff finals now they've failed to win the playoff final.
Yeah,
they've got history for it. They've got history for it.
they do. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing with Italy as well. I think you're going up against a team who are kind of. It's almost sort of common now that they end up being on the receiving end of an upset, which is why I'm not against the idea that Bosnia could maybe sneak something in. I just feel like, in terms of fate, it seems that this time Italy are going to do it. It may be close, which I wouldn't be surprised by, but I think they're probably going to get the win.
Yeah, that's fair. So you're going 2-0 Italy, are you?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Italy, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's a pretty safe bet. Like you say, on paper they should definitely win it, but I don't know. There's that bit about them. Like I'd say, Bosnia are probably a better side than North Macedonia, right? You know.
Don't
Um,
know.
all right. Well, we'll move on to me. What you've all been waiting for, because I am previewing Turkey versus Kosovo, and I think again, long-term listeners to the podcast will agree it's probably the best that I've got the Turkish team. Seeing as Charlie's pronunciation of Hakan Çalhanoğlu is horrendous. We've heard a lot of variations over the episodes we've done. So, Turkey Kosovo onto the game. Now, these two actually haven't played since 2017 against each other. They've actually only ever played 3 games, from what I could see. And all of those games have been won by Turkey with an aggregate score of 12-2. So, you'd think, based on the form, based on the history of these two sides, it's all on Turkey. But this is a very different Kosovo side now, right? So, like in the last 10 games, right? Turkey, 7 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Good record, right? Kosovo, 7 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. So they were in an easier group, but they've played Georgia. Georgia are no mugs. They've obviously got Kvaratskhelia. I wanted to say the name just to show off. So like they've been playing a group with no mugs, and they've got a good record of the last 10. Like the form's on their side, right? They've just got through a big 4-3 win against Slovakia. Shout out David Strelec with the goal as well. I wish you'd do that for my team. Yeah, like it's a different Kosovo side now. Like I say, in fact, actually, right, the last time that these two sides played, Kosovo were ranked 140 positions behind them in the FIFA rankings. Now that gap's just 54, right? So they've had a massive rise over the last 9 years. Like Kosovan football has gone a long way, with from players like Bersant Selina. Or actually, is he Cypriot Bersant Selina?
No, no, you're right. He's
I
Kosovoan.
thought he was Kosovoan.
Yeah,
You've got the likes of Elvis Rexbecker. I'm not fully sure how you pronounce that. Florent Hadagonai. He's there as well. Lewis loves Florent Hadagonai.
yeah, I
And
love him.
he's not one of the key players. Okay, the key player for me, from a Kosovo perspective, right, has to be Verdat Mariki. Okay, obviously, bit of a journeyman now. He's been around for ages. But if we look at the league this season, right, 28 games in La Liga, so top tier of competition. He's got 18 goals. That's one every 129 minutes, which is a hell of a rate. And for the national team, he's got 32 in 67. So, could we see that old wily old fox really fire his nation to their first World Cup? He's definitely the key guy for Kosovo. And obviously for Turkey, right? We've spent a lot of time talking about Kosovo, but Turkey, like Italy, right, naturally the favourites. Naturally the more talented side. You've got players like Hakan Çalhanoğlu. You've got players like Arda Güler, who's my key player for them, right? Who has been unbelievable this season. He obviously scored from his own half a few weeks ago. I don't think we'll see that again against Kosovo, but who knows? I wouldn't put it past him, right? He's got in this qualification campaign, right? He's got 1 goal and 4 assists in 6 games, including setting up the winner against Romania in the previous round. So he's done big work for him. He's a key man at Real Madrid at this point, right? Like, can he take Turkey to their first World Cup in 24 years, actually? Was the last time they were at a World Cup, which surprised me when I looked at it. So I think, Arda Güler could be the key man for Turkey. As far as my prediction, where I think it's going to go, honestly, I can see it going either way. But I'm actually just about backing Kosovo here. I've gone the opposite way Charlie's gone. I'm just about backing Kosovo to get over the line. Because before that thrilling win over Slovakia that I mentioned before, where they conceded 3, they had actually only conceded just once in the previous 5, right? They had 4 clean sheets in that time. And I just feel like that sturdiness, right? If it comes back alongside kind of inevitable Turkish jitters, it's just surely going to feel, I've just got the feeling Kosovo going through. It's a gut feeling thing, really. I don't know if I want to pick any holes in that, but
Do you know what? To be fair, Kosovo, I remember we were in a group with England a couple of seasons ago, and I remember, like you just mentioned, some of the key names. Like obviously back in the day, I remember a guy. I think it's Valent Berisha,
hello,
who
Berisha.
used to be yeah, he used to play at Lazio. But I remember kind of they had this golden generation, and they're still on the cusp of that. Where I feel like if they don't make a tournament right now, they might lose this kind of perfect opportunity with the players that they've got. And like you said, they have got probably the best chance with this tie being one step away, with a game that's, although they're the underdogs, probably evenly tied somewhat. I think that it would be surprising if they made it to the World Cup, but it's not impossible. And I don't think it's crazy to say that they could beat Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, Kosovo making a World Cup would be mental, but it is in Kosovo as well. So, I think it all just piles the pressure on Turkey. And you remember when they were, those pre-tournament, dark horses for that 1 Euros, all the pressure was on them and they fumbled. I just have a feeling that's going to happen again. But yeah, so that's from me. I'm going to go Kosovo 2, Turkey 1. We'll go a 2-1 for Kosovo. And Lewis, we'll go back to you, mate, for the final game. Round us out.
Yeah, so it's Czechia versus Denmark. And interestingly, the 2 games that I've had have both got quite a stat that puts one team as the favourite. So the last one was the fact that Poland hadn't won in 76 years in Sweden. This one is that Czechia haven't beat Denmark in their last 7 games all the way back to 2004. So they've not beat Denmark in 7 games since 2004, which was the Euros. So yeah, looking at the kind of Czech team, obviously they need an 86th minute equaliser by Ladislav Krejci to equalise against Ireland. They obviously won on penalties. You could say, look, the fact that there was a storyline that Ireland hadn't, they'd been told by their manager not to prep for penalties, which is a little bit weird, but could be a little bit of luck. We'll see. The man that's clearly the talisman, always delivers for Czech Republic is Patrick Schick. Obviously, currently by Leverkusen. We remember the fairy tale that he had when they went quite far at the Euros a couple of tournaments ago. He's got 5 goals in 7 games. Sorry, the same as Lewandowski in qualifying, and he's got overall 51 caps and 25 goals. So he's got generally a good record. He did score as well in the last game. And an interesting story is they've got a brand new manager in 74-year-old Miroslav Kubek, who his first game was basically the semi-final playoff game. So they've got quite a new manager. Maybe that's going to go against them in the sense that new kind of information and tactics. But yeah, they play a Denmark team who have been rampant in the qualifying. Were very unfortunate not to get through. They were second to, I think, Holland. No, they weren't. Sorry, Scotland. They were second to Scotland. Lost that last game 4-2 to Scotland, which meant that they were 2 points behind getting the automatic spots. They got 16 goals in qualifying, so they were basically free flowing in front of goal. And I just think that they are probably the favourites, and they've got the stronger players and the stronger team. Under their manager, Brian Remmer, they've got 12 matches, 6 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. So you could say that they have got a loss in them. And they're eyeing to get into their 3rd consecutive World Cup, which will be big, obviously, for the nation. I think that Gustav Isaacson of Lazio is probably one to watch, probably a key player. He got 2 goals against North Macedonia, who they beat 3-0 in their last game. I've gone with 2-0 to Denmark, even though it's in Czechia and they've got that home advantage. I just think that Denmark, with the quality they've got, Damsgaard was influential in the North Macedonia game last week, got a goal and an assist, and he always seems to deliver when he's in a Denmark shirt. And then they've obviously got the likes of Højlund and a number of other key players. So obviously we all remember Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. So yeah, I'm going to go for Denmark. I think they've got the strength and depth, and I'm going to go 2-0 for Denmark.
Yeah, I think that's the closest of the games, to be honest. I think that's, like I said, Kosovo Turkey go either way. That Denmark Czechia one, on paper, having not watched either of the teams for a long time, feels like very kind of nip and tuck. Yeah,
No, definitely. I think Czechia, for example, I've said about the depth that Denmark have got, but we can't forget that I think they've got quite an aging squad, but it might work more in terms of their experience. They've got the likes of Souček and Kufal, who we know have got that West Ham link. But they've got experienced figures who I do think might help them, as well as an experienced manager, as I said, 74, who might have a trick up his sleeve. So it is one of them where it's very kind of, I think it's going to be tight. I just think Denmark might be more clinical on the night, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so you've gone 2-0 Denmark. What was your other one?
My other one was 2-1 to Poland, the extra time.
2-1 Poland. I went 2-1 Kosovo. And Charlie, you went what, 2-0 Italy, was it?
2-0 Italy against Bosnia.
So there you have it. Those are the results. Those are the results. Like, you don't need to watch the games now. It's told for you. We've got Italy, Kosovo, Poland, and Denmark making the World Cup, which
I will say,
as a man with Polish family.
I've got a question for you boys, which is the intercontinental playoff. Just a quick one to ask you: Are you going Jamaica or are you going Congo? That's what I want to know. I was interested to ask.
Have Jamaica still got Steve McLaren, or did he?
No, they've got rid of him.
Yeah.
For that reason, I'm going Dr. Congo.
Yeah, I could just
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Chance
Jamaica. Okay.
I'm going Jamaica. There's a couple of players I know that do play for Jamaica who actually, I think this season have actually performed quite well. That's just basically the reason why I do think they will beat Congo and go through. But
I'm just backing Cedric Bakambu. I just think he's going to fire them to the World Cup.
I rate it. Isn't there another one? There's I'm sure it's like
there might be another different
Bolivia, Iraq, or something.
Is that the other one? Yeah, I didn't know the other one. Yeah,
I think it's something along those lines. But I won't ask for a prediction on that because they genuinely might not be the game. But if it is,
that's very true.
If it's Bolivia and Iraq, I'm back in Iraq. Go on the Iraq.
Who was the Ipswich striker that they had that was Iraqi? He was the
El,
main guy I always knew.
El Hamadi.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
something along the lines of that.
Good player, to be fair.
He
Good
signed
player.
him from like Charlton or someone. I can't remember.
Well, there you go. That's our predictions for the World Cup playoffs, the European ones. We'll obviously be back shortly for a quiz. Hello and welcome back to Hoof It, where I'm back as quizmaster, and I've missed it. I've missed it. I've been quizzing myself at home, and it's been really boring, to be honest. No one's been listening to me, so I'm glad to now be back and broadcast my quizzing abilities. And to start, we'll obviously go with a lineup, as is customary. And we're talking about another game that's happening on Tuesday, okay? Because England are playing Japan, hoping to really cement that pre-tournament momentum that we've had so far. It's actually, I don't know if you know this, the first time these two teams have met since another friendly encounter back in 2010. So long time since England and Japan have played. Now in that game, right, England won it 2-1, courtesy of two own goals. Can you tell me who played for England that day?
Oh my God, 2010.
The 2010 lineup,
2010.
England against Japan in a friendly. And I don't want to scare you. There were six substitutions at halftime, I think it was.
I know there's going to be a lot of guesses that are going to be subbed instead of who actually started.
Yeah, there's a big subs bench. I don't think
Okay.
we've managed to fit the whole subs bench on the screen here, but hell of a lineup. Like, big fan.
I feel like the players that I'm going to go for are going to be like too good really to start the game. I think they would have maybe
Are you dissing Japan?
no. Well, I'm just saying. I fight England. Well, maybe I am to be honest when I say that the
Yeah, it's
England
one
would
of
have
those
been.
pre-tournament friendlies like we just had against Uruguay, where you play like
Yeah.
Jed Spence. He's a good player, but he's just not going to start, is he? Clip that up when Jed Spence starts the first game in the World Cup, by the way. What a team, though. What a team. I'm telling you, like, I'm looking forward to reading this line. It's a 4-4-2, by the way.
Four four
If that
two.
helps.
Okay.
It's a
I knew
4-4.
it'd be a two up. I knew it'd be a two up front back in this day.
Do you reckon you've got both the strikers, though? Do you reckon you've got.
No, because there's too many strikers of this era.
I
There,
feel like I might have one of them, but it's
there is quite a
The
few.
left back, I can't think of the left. Oh, I'm stupid. There's an obvious left back.
There is an obvious left back. But is that the one who's playing?
Probably
yeah.
not him.
I'm just.
Probably not him.
That's what you've got to question. You know.
I think left back I've gone for is too early, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Do you reckon you've gone Tino Livramento, Charlie?
Yeah.
By
Lewis
the way,
Law.
the two own goals, one of them was scored by the Japanese centre back Tulio, who also scored the goal for Japan. So what a game he had. Um, but players in this Japan team, we all remember Kazuki Honda, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh yes, yeah.
Kazuki Honda knocking about in there.
What a player he was as well.
Other players in this
Did,
Japan team. Go on.
was he the player that was with AC Milan?
Yeah.
If I'm not
Yes,
mistaken, yeah.
yeah. They also had Shinji Okazaki up top, which just those two,
Did they not
unbelievable.
have a Maya Yoshida back then?
He wasn't starting. I genuinely can't see him.
Oh,
Shinji Kagawa was on the bench.
yeah.
Um, I don't know a lot of these other players at this point.
Fair
Like,
enough.
there's a bloke called Abe. We had the Simpson granddad talking about. He was he was knocking about in the Japanese midfield. How are we getting on, boys? How are we
I've
doing?
got an 11, but it's one of these where I know there's so many names that are in my head in general that it could be anyone, and it's going to be a free for all of who's actually in this 11 that I've picked. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you there are three strikers on the bench.
Yeah,
Oh God, I don't
There's
like the
also
sound.
there's also two other keepers on the bench.
I've dropped a big striker, as in he's not in my 11.
I
Out
Four
have.
of
centre backs
rotation.
on the bench.
Oh
Um,
God.
two left backs on the bench.
Oh,
No.
Four central midfielders, and then
I know there's going to be
front
one that I'm going
halfers.
to kick myself at because I feel it's all on the left back and who's played and who's not played. Because there's one in my head that I'm thinking is on the bench, but he probably isn't.
Charlie, how's yours getting on?
I've got 11, but I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to keep it
Yeah,
as
we're
it
done.
is.
We're
Okay,
done.
Charlie, we're going to start with you.
Okay. All right. So in goal, I've gone with David James.
Okay,
Right back, Glenn Johnson.
okay,
I've gone with a centre back partnership of John Terry and Rio Ferdinand.
okay.
And then at left back, I've gone with Leighton Baines.
Okay.
No,
which
no.
I think that's like 2 years too early, I think. Anyway, right mid, I've gone with Beckham, but that's really pushing it.
Okay.
I've got my two midfielders who are just top quality, Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard.
Okay.
And then left mid, I kind of struggled with, and I know he usually plays on the right, but I went with Aaron Lennon.
Okay.
And then up front, I've gone with a striker partnership of Peter Crouch and Jermaine Defoe.
Okay. Okay. I have your score down, Charlie.
Okay.
Lewis, let's hear yours, mate.
This is what I hate because, like, yeah, we'll just go into it. Rob Green.
Okay.
I've gone for Glenn Johnson as well. I've
Okay.
then gone for a partnership of Matthew Upson and John Terry.
Okay.
I was deciding between Wayne Bridge was the one, but I went for Ashley Cole.
Okay.
But I feel that something's telling me it might be Wayne Bridge, but we'll see. And then I went for Michael Carrick and Frank Lampard, although Gareth Barry was in my head, but we'll stick to what I've said. Sean Wright Phillips is on the right, Joe Cole's on the left, and I've gone for Jermaine Defoe, but instead I went for Emil Heskey.
Okay. So it is quite close. I will tell you, it is quite close between the two of you. Who do you think's winning so far?
Molly, I think.
I think Lewis, because I think the players aren't as no, not being insulting, but aren't as good quality as the ones that I've gone for.
Okay, let me tell you some players on the bench. On the bench, we have the likes of Rob Green. We have the likes of Heskey.
Yeah, well, it's me. I'm the
We have the
worst.
likes of Jermaine Defoe and Peter Crouch.
Oh, oh come on.
We have the likes of Joe Cole and Sean Wright Phillips.
Oh, you know
Uh,
what?
we have the likes of Matthew Upson, and we have the likes of Leighton
I've got
Baines
zero.
as well.
Oh, Baines was on the bench.
The team goes as follows. It is David James in goal. So good one from you both. You've got Glenn Johnson. So credit to you both.
Yeah.
And then it was John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, and Ashley Cole at left back. As
Yes, thank God.
in midfield, we had Frank Lampard, and the other one was Tom Huddleston.
Oh,
Yo, what?
Part of the reason I did this
Huddleston.
lineup because I was like, if I want to get Tom Huddleston, I'm giving you 10 points. But yeah, Hull City legend Tom Huddleston.
He's
yeah.
at
On the
Spurs then.
wings, on the wings, you've got Theo Walcott and Aaron Lennon off the left.
Oh, okay. Oh, he was on the left.
Aaron Lennon was on the left. And up top, neither of you said Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, that's the one I said I
Yeah,
benched. That's the one where I said,
yeah.
And the other, anyone want to take a stab in the dark at the other striker? Now I've told you it's not Defoe,
um,
Crouch, or Heskey.
is it Darren Bent?
It is Darren Bent. Darren
Oh,
Bent was the other striker.
wow.
So the scores on the doors after the lineup is Lewis on 4, Charlie on 6. So it's all to play for.
Yeah, that's actually closer than I
It is
thought.
all to play for. Like
Okay.
I think you've both done honestly relatively well there, considering that bench.
Yeah, not too bad to say there's a lot of choices.
Yeah, yeah, 100. I looked at it, I was like, oh God, there's gonna be so
I
difficult.
think I would have got more if you'd have counted the players on the bench.
Hang on. So you said what? You said Green, Upson,
Uh, I
um,
said Carrick,
Joe Cole.
Lampard, Wright Phillips, Joe Cole, Defoe.
Green, Upson, Carrick, Joe Cole, Defoe.
Wright,
Yeah,
Wright
yeah,
Phillips? Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
you would
cool.
have had 6.
Great.
You literally got more players. That's not the game, Lewis. All right, we'll move on. Interesting enough, you have already touched on this, Lewis, because we're talking about DR Congo versus Jamaica on Tuesday night in their interconfederational playoff final to reach this World Cup. Now, DR Congo beat two teams in the African knockout leg of this, stage. Who were the two teams? You get a point for each. They beat two teams in knockout football to get to this intercontinental playoff final because it's so hard to qualify through this playoff from Africa.
Oh, I've got one in my head.
The
I'm trying to do the
football
one.
manager fans will know if they've done it before. I haven't.
Okay, I've got two.
Okay, Lewis, have you got two?
Uh, yeah.
Okay, well you can go first, my friend.
Saint. Wait, am I being stupid here? Yeah, I am. Put, wait, are the African teams?
Yes,
I was about to make myself look stupid because I thought it was like some intercontinental playoff thing,
I
and I was
quite
going to
literally
say,
said they beat two
yeah, I
teams in the
know.
African leg of the knockouts.
Yeah, yeah, no. Let's go for Gabon
Right.
and let's go for Mali.
Okay, Charlie.
I went with Niger and then Tunisia.
Charlie, if you combine those, you're getting a point. So it's Nigeria and Cameroon.
Oh my
So
God.
you really just need to combine those words together. You'll have Nigeria.
God's sake.
I'm disappointed neither of you remembered Nigeria. I literally put Cameroon in just because I was like, Nigeria is obvious. They won it on pens. Like, there was the Chamberlain Bemba goal. Ademola Lookman missed a penalty on penalty.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, I can't believe that. Yeah, I
You
just
both
remembered.
forgetting that before.
I think
Was AFCON before or after that?
After.
yeah, because
Yeah,
the
that's
whole City
why.
defender missed the flipping penalty.
Femi Ajayi missed, right? We talked about it
Yeah.
on this podcast.
How did I forget that?
That's poor. Right, well, we move on. The scores stay the same. Question three. It's another international one. These are all international questions, to be fair. The USA are hosting Portugal on Wednesday in what is the Seleção's final pre-tournament friendly. Can you tell me the last time these two met at a World Cup?
Yes, I can. I've got the answer.
Charlie?
Oh God. I'm just gonna go for a guess. Yeah.
Okay, Charlie can go first.
I've gone with 98, 1998.
Lewis?
Is it Group H, the 2014 World Cup? It was Germany, Ghana, Portugal, USA.
I don't know what group it was, but it is the 2014 World Cup, yes.
Oh wow.
Correct. Okay, we move forward. Question four. Croatia play Brazil on Wednesday, with both sides hoping to build momentum before the tournament in the summer. Now, the last time they met, it ended in a penalty victory for Croatia. But who scored the late equaliser for Zlatko Dalic's men? Okay, was it Bruno Petkovic? Was it Andrej Kramaric? Was it Ante Budimir? Or was it Nikola Vlasic? Who scored the late equaliser in the 1-1 draw that Croatia then won on penalties?
You say the names one more time, sorry.
Bruno Petkovic, Andrej Kramaric, Ante Budimir, or Nikola Vlasic?
Oh,
I've got my answer.
If it helps, it was Neymar who scored the goal for Brazil, and Marquinhos missed the penalty to take them out. If that kind of refreshes your memory of the game at all.
I've got the two strikers in my head, but one scored against Switzerland. It wasn't Brazil. I'm going to go, yeah, I've got an answer.
Okay. Lewis, you can go first this time.
Bruno Petkovic.
Charlie?
I went with Andrej Kramaric.
It's Bruno Petkovic, which means Lewis has given himself a chance of winning now because
Tied.
going into the closest two, it's 6-all. And the closest two it's related to the game I was previewing today. So it's big pressure, big tension on this. What is Kosovo's FIFA ranking? Closest two. I gave you a bit of a help earlier.
Yeah, where
Yeah, you
where would
did. Wait,
Turkey
what
have
did you
been
say
ranked?
earlier? You said,
If you can
oh my
remember,
God.
I gave you a bit of a clue.
I do remember. I'm trying to think where Turkey are ranked.
So you've had a bit of help. But what is
Oh my God, I'm
Kosovo's
trying to
FIFA
work out
ranking?
what you said earlier.
Obviously, as per, if one of you gets it dead on, you can have 5 points, but it's literally just a straight shootout now for the win.
Okay,
Um,
Turkey
oh
can't be
God.
ranked
Okay,
like
I've got an
this.
answer. Got an answer.
Okay. It will be Charlie go first.
Okay, I've gone with 85th.
85. Lewis?
77th.
Okay. You said 77, Lewis.
Yeah, why?
The answer's 79.
Oh,
Means
yes.
Lewis wins the quiz.
Fair play.
From a comeback. From a comeback, Lewis wins the quiz. You've
You
got
know
a
what?
habit for
That's what.
getting ridiculously close on those closest twos.
What can I say?
Look at my
What are
notes.
you? No, I'm not looking at your notes, mate.
Oh, no, fair play. Fair play. Yeah, Kosovo
I
ranked
was trying to work
79.
out. 'Cause I remember you said something about it was like 100 and you said there was 100 and something, and then it was like minus 50, but I thought you said 150 something. I was trying to work out the
They,
maths
they
again.
were 140 places behind Turkey last time they played, and the gap is now just 54. Turkey are ranked
Yeah.
25th in the world.
If
Kosovo
I'm
is
honest, that
79.
that kind of calculation went out of my mind, and then I just went blank. Let me just black. I couldn't do the maths. I was like, let me just do a blind guess.
Yeah. If I hadn't narrowed it down to that, would one of you gone over the 100 mark quite comfortably, do you reckon?
No.
Okay.
No, I would have stuck with around the 80 something mark. To be fair,
'Cause I would have thought Turkey would have been around like top 30, if not,
Yeah.
yeah,
or
something like
somewhere near that anyway.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Congratulations, Lewis. You've won the quiz on my return. You've got bragging rights for this week, so use them as you will. Spend them
I'm
wisely.
just like it's just like Poland against Albania, my team that I've just previewed how they were 1-0 down and they came back and won 2-2 late on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Two behind, two
Quite
behind, and you
fitting.
brought it back
Yeah.
with three straight points. You've got to respect it. Got to respect it. And yeah, well, that's the end of the episode, guys. That's the end of the Who Fit episode. It's been a pleasure. chatting to you. It's been a pleasure having you listen along. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one next week. All the best. Same time. See you later.